Welcome to another episode of Strictly Nerd, the vlog, where you get a look into the life of one of the nerds here at Strictly Nerd, me, and my wife Jen. This week in nerd life, this stuff happened. So there's not actually a lot going on this week. We don't really have any engagements or anything going on this weekend, so I figured I would use it as an opportunity to show you guys what I've actually been working on this week, and it has to do with our cosplay. So if you are unaware, Jen and I cosplay. I always make the costumes, and then, you know, we both wear them depending on who they're made for, I guess. And our most popular cosplay is Fallout Mario. I do Fallout Mario, Jen is Fallout Peach, Brian Fallout Luigi, and our friend Soul is a Fallout Raider. I made all the costumes, and they are very, very popular. They've gone viral a few times, and we are about 7 weeks away from Comic Palooza up in Houston that we are going to go to, and it'll only be Jen and I, but we're gonna wear the Fallout Mario costumes, and then I'm also gonna do my Soul Air costume. Every con that we go to, I like to add something new to our costumes because we do the costumes multiple times. I don't want them to get stale, and I love crafting, so I wanted to be able to have something else to make. So for Comic Palooza, we are going to have two things that we're gonna be adding, two new props. They're kind of both for Jen, but you'll see in a minute. The first one was suggested by Jen. She decided that she didn't want to carry her shield around. We might use it in the future, it's up to her, but she decided that she didn't want to carry her shield around, and instead she wanted this. It's a Yoshi DEATHCLAW egg. So she said she wanted to carry around a Yoshi egg, and I'd figured that in the Fallout universe there is DEATHCLAW eggs and Mirelurk eggs that I can think of, and Yoshi more resembles a DEATHCLAW, obviously, so I decided to make a DEATHCLAW egg. There's not really anything about the egg that makes it specifically DEATHCLAW. It just looks kind of like a more realistic looking Yoshi egg, but that's what we're calling it. It's a DEATHCLAW Yoshi egg. So she's gonna carry this around instead of her shield and pose with it and everything for all of her pictures. I think it came out really good. We found this giant Easter egg that had a bunch of smaller Easter eggs inside it. It's clear plastic, and it just, you know, popped open. So I took that, wrapped the whole thing in duct tape, and then covered it in instant paper mache, which you can get at hobby stores and stuff like that. And then once it was all dry, sanded it a little bit, and then I painted it, and I think it gives it a really good texture. The, you know, coat of Mod Podge on the outside gives it that little shine and everything, so it looks like a pretty good egg. It looks like if I drop this, it might break, but it's actually pretty solid. So this came out really awesome. The next thing we decided to add to the cosplay, the next prop, was my idea, and I've been wanting to do it for a while. Finally got the guts to actually try it, because it's all stuff that pretty much I've never done before. And that is a Bowser DEATHCLAW head. We are going to have it in, the reason I said it's kind of for Jen, is because she pulls a cart full of props around, a wagon full of props around behind her, and it's gonna be sitting in the wagon in the place of the radio that was in there right now. So to do this, I'm doing a bunch of new methods that I've never done before, and this is what I've got so far. Here it is, look at that thing. It's gigantic. So I made this using a method called Papercraft, and a program called Papakura. I downloaded basically to make the Papakura files, someone takes a 3D model and they unfold it, basically making it into flat geometric shapes that you can then cut, score, and then glue together to make something like this. So I did that. I know that I could 3D print it. A lot of people have been telling me, why didn't you 3D print it? And I personally don't want 3D printing to be a crutch, because my favorite part of cosplay is the crafting part of it. And for 3D printing, you know, unless you model the thing yourself, you're kind of just downloading a file, clicking print, putting it together, which isn't usually very difficult, and then painting it. The paint is definitely an important part to the whole process, and it can make or break a 3D print, but you know, I really want to challenge myself and become a better crafter, and I think that 3D printing is an easy way out for me. So I'd rather do something like this. So this took a little more time, less expensive, because, you know, altogether this thing is probably, like this method, it was probably maybe like $10 to print all this and glue it and all that stuff. But anyways, so as you can see, it's pretty solid. And the way that I did that was I Mod Podged the whole thing once I was done. And then I filled it with expanding foam. This whole thing is full of expanding foam. And it's actually fairly light, but I'm not gonna be carrying this around. So I'll explain the rest of the process. First, I'm going to shape this down here because this needs to look like his neck. This needs to look like the back of his head a little bit, which the Papercraft model didn't have. So I've got to shape that. But essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to use it as a base to add clay on top of it to do detail. Once I've done the detail in the clay, I'm going to cut the horns off, probably cut the teeth off before I even start molding, and mold them separately. I'm going to then use that clay covered thing to make a plaster mold. And then once I've got the plaster mold, it's gonna be a 2-part mold. I'm gonna line the inside of it with latex, and then I'm gonna fill it once I do a few layers of latex on the inside, I'm gonna fill it with expanding foam the same way, while it's still in the mold, the same way I did with this a little bit. And at that point, I will then have a very similar to this, except for the outside is gonna have a latex skin. I also want to modify the look of it because it's supposed to be Bowser. So it's still gonna look like a DEATHCLAW, but it's gonna look like a Bowser DEATHCLAW. So yeah. So I'm really excited about finishing that and seeing the process, or getting the process done. I've never done plaster molds or casting or anything like that before, so it's gonna be interesting and hopefully not a bunch of expensive mistakes, but we're super excited about it. So if you're going to Comic Palooza, keep an eye out for that for us, and say hi to us. If you see us there, we love meeting people who've seen us online. I know that it's more so because of our Fallout costumes going viral, people recognize us rather than the channel, but we've been recognized a few times because of the channel, and it's amazing. We love meeting people who are fans of the channel and also who are fans of our cosplay. So if we see you guys there, if you see us there, please say hi. We will definitely say hi and talk a little bit. It might be kind of hectic because people take a lot of photos, but it's always awesome. And if you see us, we're on Sunday, we're going to be there just in regular clothes walking around and stuff. So if you see us, please come up to us and say hi. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing. So we just tried out this new, I don't know if it's new, it's new to us, thing where you order your food online and then this service grocery shops for you and they bring it to your house. It's pretty cool, very weird, but the reason I'm making this video is because Jen did all the ordering, and I think she made a mistake because she usually orders me a thing of bananas for the week because that's what I eat for breakfast. But they brought another thing of bananas and another thing of bananas and some more bananas and just a little bit more bananas. So yeah, we got a lot of bananas.
I did not.
Jen, how many bananas did you order?
One bundle. I swear, I'm pulling it up now. I'm pulling it up now.
We are rearranging our living room. This is what we're doing this weekend. Nothing really exciting. We're gonna have lunch with Brian and Luba and them tomorrow, so there's at least that. But right now, we're rearranging our living room. You'd have to look back at some, maybe I could find some video in our old videos or something of what it used to look like, but we're basically flipping the whole room like backwards. So our couch and the TV used to be over here, and now our computers are over here, and then that's gonna be, the TV's gonna be against the window, and then the couches are gonna be over there. So basically we were planning on moving, and then we decided not to move. And because we're trying to fix up our credit and stuff like that. So we decided that we were just gonna rearrange the living room to make it feel like we were in somewhere new. So,
well, we're gonna rearrange the entire house, I think we decided.
Yeah, the entire house. But right now we're doing the living room. So, and we took down, like the walls are really bare looking because we took everything down, but we were gonna put stuff back up, but we're not just gonna tack up like posters to the walls or anything. We're gonna make sure they're in frames and stuff. So we want it to look like we're classy geeks, not some college kids, you know? Or not even college kids, children, I guess. So we finished with our living room, and it is very, very nice and open now. So I will show you guys everything. So here we have our computer area, my computer and Jen's computer right next to each other, and then our Zelda stuff pretty much stayed in the same spot. Though we did get some frames for our posters so that it looks a little bit more classy. And then we got all of our camera equipment, and then the TVs over here next to the windows now. And we got the dog cages, my Nuka Girl poster in a frame. And then this is where we sit, the living room. Yeah. And then I moved all my Hellboy stuff over here in the corner. And then I framed that perks chart. Then I got my awesome sword up here that I probably will never use at a con. I want to, but anyway. Boop. Wow. That is pretty much just for showing off. And then I made like kind of on this bar, kind of made like a collection of weapons from different things. So we have these two wands from Harry Potter that actually belong to people. They need to pick them up, that I made for them. My Real Parts lightsaber hilt, sword from Blade that my brother gave me 1,000,000 years ago, a steampunk gun that Jen modded, 10mm from Fallout, my Robin Hood sword that I wear to Sherwood and Ren Fairs, and then my Great Sword of the Ebon Blade, and from a costume that I've never finished. Anyway, so yeah, our living room looks nice. Oh, we got a rug. Oh, rug. The living room looks really nice now and everything. And the cool thing is how open it is. See how open it is from like right here. So because of how open it is, this whole area, I made it in the play area for my VR. So you can see I've got one of the base stations up there, and then the other base station up there. So that pretty much makes like that entire area right there my area for VR. So it's huge. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, the place looks pretty nice, and we got all these mics for recording episodes, so make sure you watch our other episodes. So just a quick update on the Bowser head that I was working on, that I was showing you guys earlier. That didn't really work out. I shouldn't have used air dry clay. I kind of did some research afterwards and found that it's kind of, air dry clay is something that you can, if you're going to do a pretty quick build, sculpt it real fast and then have it done, it's probably, you know, okay. But anyway, so it ended up cracking really bad. So right now you can see all these pieces of clay all over the place because I am trying to salvage the paper craft underneath so that I can start over with some monster clay. I actually invested in monster clay, which is an oil-based clay that never dries, that is specifically for this kind of thing. So I've been smacking at this thing with a hammer. I don't have my hammer out here, but you can see where it's dry, and smacking it and having that stuff fall off, and it's coming off pretty easily. So it's not all lost, but it's just something I have to do over again. But I'm learning. It's a learning process, so hopefully the end result is good. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff that helps out our channel. And we will catch you next time.